It's Hobby Love time. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Asmogan, and today we're going to be doing Hobby Love number 2. If you guys enjoy this series, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to support it. Obviously, leave your comments down below. Yes, commenting about like my critiques and everything. Obviously, if you're featured in this, please let me know in the comment section below. If you thought my comments were fair, any things that you felt was unfair, or anything at all. If you just like wanna just leave a comment for any particular reason, linking your stuff. If you do commissions, by the way, please, if you do miniature commissions, by all means use my comment section to advertise yourself. Absolutely do it, especially if you're featured. Of course, with links and stuff, YouTube can be a bit sensitive, but if you just feel like mentioning yourself and mentioning, hey, you could find me on these platforms, that kind of thing, by all means, like, use these videos for that purpose in the comment section below. That's part of Hobby Love, is also, spreading the love of your ability that people may want to take advantage of. So, anyway, this Hobby Love is going to be from a Hobby Love entry 188 that my buddy, Lord Metalman, who hosts the Twitter/X Hobby Love progression stuff and the progression reports, he is the king of Hobby Love. These videos are more or less just taking what he's been doing for a long time and bringing it to the YouTube front and giving, of course, my own unique like reviews and takes and advices to the people who post their miniatures very bravely and very boldly over on X and other platforms, of course, and mad respect to the people who do that. It's not easy to be able to share your stuff and get critiques and stuff, but it can only help your journey, and hopefully what I'm about to do here will do just that. It'll help you along your journey as a miniature painter, and even if it doesn't, hopefully at the very least that you like getting featured a little bit, and getting a little bit of praise for the hard work you put in. But anyway, also before I get into underway with today's video, just want to let everybody know, if you would like an important update with the channel and with me in the background of things, please stick around to the end of the video. There is something very important. I will also timestamp this video, so for those who just want to get to that real quick and then want to go back, hopefully, and watch the Hobby Love stuff, it'll be there for you, and I'm going to include that same portion of that video in the next few videos. So, anyway, without further ado, Hobby Love. Alrighty, first up, we got an entrant who was in the last Hobby Love video, Chaos Creation Minis, who has a YouTube channel, by the way, which, if I remember to do it, apologies if I don't, buddy, if you see this, man, but I'm going to try and remember. I'm going to link it in the description below. He's just started up his channel, it seems like, and he's going to have some mini painting tutorials and stuff on his channel, so look for Chaos Creation Minis here on YouTube. It's a great channel, and I absolutely love this guy's art style, the vibrancy, the natural wet blending that he goes for, and something I would call dry blending a little bit, because some of the stuff he does isn't even like with a wet blending technique, at least from some of the videos I saw. It looks like it's something I would call dry blending, where he puts down a layer, puts down another layer that's slightly another color, when the first layer dried, and then has like those natural like builds up. I guess you would still call that wet blending technically, but the layering I think is really cool. And the vibrancy, y'all know me hopefully by now when it comes to my minis. I love vibrancy. I love bright colors. I love gorgeous, sexy. I love saturation. I love these kinds of colors. This beauty that this guy brings to the tabletop it's just perfect. The kit bashing as well. Like, this is the kind of stuff I want to see when I go to a tournament. When I go and play 40K, this is the kind of beauty and passion I love to see on display. Like, this stuff looks like it's being ripped right out of like some hardcore professional like animation, like with its own unique style. It's just perfect. And I gushed a lot about this last time, so I'm not gonna get a lot of my criticisms are the same as they were then. But the beauty here is self-explanatory. The blending, the colors, the vibrancy, it's just so alive. If there's one criticism I will throw at these minis right here, it's the lack of base details, but I know full well, man, that you're capable of base details. I mean, look at this. This shows you're very careful of it, but you did get a little bit lazy with these ones. But at the same time, I don't know if you had like something post-painting that you had planned for these, or if you just didn't want to bother with the base. And at the end of the day, that is an option for people. You don't have to. I like to personally put bases on all my minis. There's a base I'm working on right now for one of my world eaters that's certainly in works, and you know, when it comes to some of my favorite projects I've ever done, like this guy, you know, this Dark Apostle, I put effort into putting some, you know, Ultramarines and stuff dead, like with a pauldron and a head on there. I like to do little base stuff, but at the end of the day, I have met plenty of people who, you know, sometimes it's just they didn't think about it before gluing everything together, or they just didn't want to bother with it in the first place. But I'll still throw it out there just in case you did intend to, and it was an oopsie daisy. You did forget him here, but honestly, the only reason I noticed is I was just looking up and down at the sexiness that was the model, and just looked. Honestly, it didn't even catch my eye. Like that's how good the minis are painted, by the way. I didn't really like. I didn't notice the base was empty until just now. So they're looking great, man. And I no, don't take this the wrong way, Chaos Crazy is, but I do feel like I should let you know I'm going to avoid putting you on each HobbyLove. I'm not going to ever put you on again. I'm definitely going to put you on again in some place in the future. But if I do it every time, I don't know, man. Like, you're a shoo-in to put on every time, if I'm being honest. But there's only so many times I can gush about the same vibrancy, the same detail, same everything. If you wanna gush about his stuff too, check out his Twitter, check out his YouTube channel. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it. Next up, we got from Dr. Cochter, or I hope that I said that correctly, or I hope it's not Kochter, and I went Cochter. But Dr. Cochter brings us a very, very beautiful, and again, like I said before with Chaos Creation Minis, which actually he's commented right there, I really love the vibrant colors, I love saturation, and here, this is very much that same love. I love the wet blend. There's definitely wet blending, at least it looks like it very strongly here. It could just be the careful color choice, and that the careful like light lime green it has here, and then it looks like it's, oh sorry, my cam's in the way, but it looks like it has like a nice fade here. It looks like instead of doing edge highlights, he did edge dark light. I don't know if that's tokenized yet as a term, but the reason I say dark light is the edges have a darker shade than the center portion, and it looks so precise here. It looks like it was very, very well done. I don't know which way he went. Like the whole thing was painted a darker color, and he carefully applied a light tone in between the little blades there. If so, that level of precision there is impressive. But I do really like that. It could also be a lighting thing, where like the lighting he took with a photo makes it look like it has that dark edge, and it doesn't actually have it. But assuming that is actually painted on there, which I think it is. I think it's in both angles here, and it looks very, very good. Also, the color blocking is on point with this. I don't see any of the colors bleeding into places that they shouldn't, and again, it's looking very, very beautiful. I love the base. It looks like it's freshly wet in this photo, so he probably took it right after he applied the base. It looks like it might be the same stuff I use. I use Green Stuff World. I wouldn't buy from them right now because I think they were based in Ukraine, and I tried to buy something from them like a few months ago. I bought it, and it never arrived. So I think given the situation over there, that might impact their ability to send stuff out. So just prior warning, I don't know if they are capable of sending anything out, but keep that in mind. They might very well not be able to. Then again, I'm not sure if they're in Ukraine. They might be in Spain. I'd have to double check that. I don't know if I'm mixing some stuff up. But point is, the base looks like it's freshly made with texture paste or texture paint. It looks really it should just be the lighting and the effect, but it looks freshly wet. Also, like again, like the color choice, that red, that I really like that red that he went with here, and I do like that lighter underbelly, like the careful thought process and the occasional dark scale. That I think that's clever. I think that I do like that, because if you ever owned a lizard or a pet lizard or anything like that, you know that they occasionally have like a spotty part upon their pattern. They're usually not one solid color, like up top and down top. Sometimes there are, but usually there's some kind of breakneck in the pattern. I do like the little rare, occasional like black blot on the scales. Also, the wash that was allowed to like bleed into the recesses here. It very much services to really help all of those scales pop, which in the Lizard Man you would want them to. Like this looks extremely well. If there's a criticism I absolutely will apply, it does go back to the base. The base is very I won't. Bland is a bit strong. It's a little basic, but it's a base, so sometimes basic base. Anyway, it's very simplistic, and don't get me wrong, I am guilty of that. Most of my bases are simplistic. I might add a couple rocks. I might, I'll paint them and I'll edge highlight some of the rocks and stuff. But normally, it's okay for a base to be basic. After all, it's the miniature itself. You want to be the shine. But sometimes I think it is good to have a little bit more than just like a dirt mound. And if anything, it causes this component right here of the base of the miniature to stand out a lot more, and not in the right way. It almost looks like it doesn't blend into the environment. Almost, mind you. It does still blend. It still applies very well. But that frog and these leaves and everything, and then it's just, dirt. I would imagine like a swamp or something right there. But that is like one small thing in the face of a very beautiful miniature. I mean, genuinely speaking, like these vibrant jade colors, the fade. I mean, another criticism I guess I'll throw real quick is also the eye. It could just be the angle, and to be fair, like the angle of this pick right there makes it hard to tell, but it looks like that yellow got a little wash in the recess and the center is a little dark, and it doesn't look, again, it could be the angle, it could just be the way the photo was taken, but just in case it isn't, it does look like that yellow kind of washed out a little too much, and the center of the eye looks like it's not like soft. What I would do to fix that is add just a little, if you can, add a little dot of white. And, well, first try, if you can, add a pupil with enough precision. If you have a good enough brush and you steady enough hand, try and add just a little dash of black to simulate that, like, slit eye that a lot of lizards have. And then add, like, a little dash of white up top and even smaller, if you can, towards the bottom to show, like, a refraction. Because that'll give it, like, a stylistic eye. And I think that's good to apply. If you can't do that, that's perfectly fine. And, again, the whole... I don't want any of these criticisms to come off like I'm saying it's not good. This is a very good miniature. It's very beautiful, and you should be very proud of yourself for what you've produced here. This is very good, and I'm certainly envious of that of the blade there. That is so good, and it contrasts so beautifully with the rest of it. That jade, man. You've perfected making like a jade looking weapon, and jade in general. It's just these small little things here and there that I would touch up on, but it's very minor in the face of such a beauteous project and end product that you've come up with. So, small little things to adjust here and there if you so choose, but generally speaking, solid work. There is nothing short of pure pride that you should have in this. Absolutely. All right, next up we got Juagu Joe. I am going to butcher this. Slurpus globule. Y'all are going to give me some hard names to say, aren't you? Jagu Joe. We'll go Juagu Joe. Juagu Joe. Did I get at least that one right? Anyway, these Battletech minis are looking sexy. And immediately kudos to the bases. Also consistent theme across the board. I like that with each of the minis. I also I'm assuming this based on the lighting and the deep refraction of light. Reflection is the word I'm going for. The reflection of light right here. I'm assuming you might have used a gloss wash or shade on the eyes. If you didn't, and it's just the paint is just freshest there, but it looks like you might have used a gloss wash. That's what I was trying. My brain farted for the minute. It looks like you made a gloss wash, and those are perfect to use on lenses and stuff. It adds that reflectivity on a surface that really makes it look... in some cases, it can make it look plasticky, but here it makes it look like the glass shade that it should be. It looks really nice. Again, I love the bases. I love that you went for like a desert theme, and you added some little rocks, a little foliage, and it all blends perfectly together. And also the fade onto the mech's actual movements onto the base. I like that actually kind of, it shows that they are interrupting the environment around them, and part of the environment is shaping because of them. It helps it blend perfectly. Also the color choice. I really like the subtle edge highlights and the fading that looks on. The weathering is very, very beautiful. The color choice is also very poignant. I love the overall white, gray to white theme with the red lens. It makes it look... It kind of reminds me of Cylons from Battle. I almost said BattleTech. Not Battlefleet. What the fuck? Battlestar Galactica. Thank you, brain. pick one. But it kind of, especially the center one, kind of reminds me of a Cylon. I like the. I don't know if you painted that or if that's a decal. I'm going to assume that's a. Let me show you this. Sorry, my cam keeps getting in the way. But there's that 3 right there. I don't know if that's a decal or if that is a painted on. If it's painted on, high five. Like, major high five. That looks great. If that's a decal, still masterful application. It doesn't look like it's interrupting anything at all. It looks like it belongs there, which is nice. I like the little subtle purple tinges you add in here and there. Not too much that it overtakes the overall like white, like faded white theme or faded gray theme. Yeah, again, the color choice is very solid. You didn't overuse anything. If I had to choose a criticism to pick up on this one, I'd say... I'd say right here on this one, you could have drilled some holes in the barrels. Of course, that every criticism I'm about to mention is optional. But it would have looked a little bit better. I don't, I'm not sure if like those are supposed to not have them for whatever reason, but that could have been done if that is intended there. In terms of your application of purple, I do commend the restricted version of it, and I do again like the really white theme. But I would have potentially added just one more color, maybe. I'm not saying it looks bland by any stretch. It looks perfect, and the theme is very concise and consistent between these 3. But this is just personal preference. If I wanted to throw something out, is I maybe would have added one more color onto this, or maybe added purple in a couple more places. But very minor criticism, and that's personal preference, of course. Generally speaking, very solid picks of color and very solid applications. Everything is very clean work. You should be very, very proud of yourself here. I do really like the pumpkin. I love the little, like, the blotched highlights there. Those are really good. The slight, like, I'm not sure if I'd call that weathering or not. But the slight application of, like, that color fade right there, and, like, the deep orange is on the edges. Sorry, is in the recesses. But in the edges, you got that, like, faded pale orange-white. I think that's really, really good. Line work is fairly solid. There's a couple blotchy parts here and there, but I'm figuring this thing must be like the size of, at most, palm, probably about the same size as thumb, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what like the rest of this is size-wise in comparison. If that's a real pumpkin in the background, then maybe it's like that big, at tops. But either way, like maybe some like a little bit of practice on like the steadiness of the application of like your lines when you're doing the painting. Maybe some more corrective painting, or maybe adding a wash. I'm not sure how flat it looks from this angle. It looks very flat right here. But if there is a recess here, you can take advantage of with a wash, maybe, to try and blend that better. But very minor criticism. It looks really nice and it's very cute. A lot of the same like compliments I gave your BattleTech minis earlier, man. I really like the base. It is just flat snow, but it looks good, and I kind of like this. This kind of reminds me of Cybermen, or Cybermen from is it Doctor Who? Yeah, I think it's Doctor Who. Although I don't think I recognize this exact variation of them. This might be something else entirely, and I'm remembering the wrong thing. But I do like this. Again, it's pretty much the same criticism I gave the BattleTech minis. It's like the application of colors is a lot better here, and saying that you have a lot more colors added to it than it's just like that black with like or like that faded like white with like a metallic dry brush. But it looks really good. Again, major compliments. That is awesome. Really like that plane. The plane is great. Yeah, generally speaking, man, major props. You did good. Really love that pumpkin, and all of these look great. And just, you did a great job. Pat yourself on the back. You absolutely deserve it. And keep on hobbying, because you're only going up, my friend. All right, next up, we got Corvus88, or at John S8891. Awesome miniatures, by the way. I'm going to compliment the hell out of these. Yeah. I looked these through, and I really like Death Watch. I don't think I see them enough on the tabletop, especially around in my area. Not enough people play Death Watch. And by the way, total missed opportunity by the Space Marine 2 writers and everything to not make that whole game about Death Watch. That should have been what it is. It's called Space Marine. It's not called Ultramarine, the game. So it's very depressing that they chose to just go boring Ultramarines. But anyway, Loving the Death Watch here. So paint-wise, very solid schemes across the board. Compliments to the base work. I do like the consistency across the board. If I had to make a criticism, and to be fair, this criticism might not be valid because I would prefer just like 1 or 2 more angles on the base to be sure I'm confident about this criticism. Because even this one's not helping me too much. But if I had to throw a criticism out onto the base work here, I would throw out that it's a little inconsistent across them. What the terrain seems kind of not contradictory, but it looks a little not I'm trying to figure out the wording here. Some of the terrain is very busy between certain ones, and others it's a little bit more reserved. I would have liked maybe a little bit more of like a consistent through of like how much like busy work is going on, like, you know, gravel or rocks or dirt and stuff. Some of them are a little bit more like laid back in what's on them, and keep in mind this is very, very minor in the face of the paint scheme on especially those eyes. Look how precise you did the Terminator eyes. That looks so good. Like that is like on fucking point right there. You did a very good job. Like the actual color application, like the paint work is very, very precise, and credit to you. You did a very clean job. But with these bases, if I could just, and of course, if your preference is your preference, but if I would add a little bit more consistent of like how busy each base is, since they're all supposed to be equals within the Death Watch. I mean, you could make the argument the Chaplain here. He should have a more unique base to the rest of them. I would have done that with maybe putting him on some like cork base that would have had him elevated as like a more unique character, but that's very, very minor. Also, drilling the gun barrels, again, that's a choice. If you do choose not to, I perfectly understand. Sometimes you just want to get right to the paint and you don't want to do all the little minor stuff there. I'm not like some like crazy people who think that you have to. If you don't, the mini is objectively bad. I think that's absurd. No, but if it's something to consider, maybe drill the gun barrels. If you just want to add that little extra detail. But it's, again, not required by any stretch. Also, I love that he's a Carcharodon. That's awesome. Got a Black Templar back there. Yeah, I love the mixes of everything, too. Like, yeah. I'm assuming these pauldrons as well are 3D printed, unless you got an upgrade sprue for each of them. I mean, some of these I could definitely believe they're from an upgrade sprue. Some of these, I don't know. They look like they might be a custom one you might have made, which, if so, kudos. But yeah. Love the clean work. The color blocking is on point. Very minor criticisms overall. Very precise work. Very clean work. Huge compliments. Keep up the great work. And maybe consider, again, your choice, maybe consider drilling the gun barrels. And the base stuff, obviously that's my subjective opinion, but I think it would have been nicer if like all of them felt more even amounts of busy work on each of them, but that's very minor in the face of things, and that does not hurt the overall project whatsoever. Just little small things to kind of throw out there for ideas, and yeah, keep up the great work. The only other like thing I would throw out there is maybe if you don't have a steady enough hand, I totally get not wanting to do it, but maybe try and do a bit more edge highlighting, or at least make the edge highlighting a bit more obvious on some of these. That would help like certain details pop all the more. But again, that's just, you know, food for thought. Overall, nothing here is at all something you shouldn't be proud of. This is all great work. You did a very good job. Keep up the hobbying. This is a very good example of hobby love, and the raw talent here is also very, very solid. There's plenty of foundation of skill sets in here that you have to build off of, and I can't wait to see what more stuff you do in the future. All right, next up we got Rob M or at Rob something. Rob something. Okay. He's got a couple miniatures here for us. I don't recognize this exact model, but obviously it's a bloodletter, but it's like it looks like it's an HQ unit, but I'm not sure. Oh, that is so cool. That is gruesome. That is gruesome, but that is so cool. Wow. Holy crap, that is cool. Oh my god. Like, I really love, like, that blade right there. Let's take a second to compliment the fucking blade, okay? That is so fun. That looks on fire, man. That looks so good. And I don't think the black edge work there that hurts that at all. So, yeah, sometimes if you want to add, like, a glow effect, you might want to do, like, a bright yellow on like the edge, or some kind of like bright orange, something to make it look like there's like a heated glow effect at the edges. But the black look at the end makes it look like the blade is containing the energy, and it's in its own right. That makes it look cool in a different way. So it's really solid. I also like the monotone, though I prefer saturated and bright colors. There is no doubt that like the darker monotone grimdark kind of vibe here is so like tasty. It's very good. It's very gritty, very dark. Like, it feels like it's taken right out of like a dark fantasy movie. It's monstrous in all the right ways. The gore here, my guy. This is a fucking bloodletter, my guy. This is sexy. And also the blood work. I'm assuming you used Blood for the Blood God technical paint, but if you use something else, let me know, because I would like to find alternatives to that if I can. But regardless of that, that looks so beautifully gruesome. The tongue kind of stretching out like it's like about to lick up the blood. Oh, yeah, that's good. It's great. The blood lining all around here, which kind of implies that those paneling are actually kind of like nailed to his head. That adds like some more gruesomeness, and like the demonic vibe here is perfect. This is what a bloodletter should look like, and you nailed it, dude. Volume took me off, right? Oh, that's cool. Dude, okay, hold on. Can I full screen that? Yes, I can. Oh my god, I'm in love with that. I'm in love. Holy shit, my guy. That is fucking is that like a custom katana? That's got to be a custom katana or something. That is so the dude, you are Mr. Demonic with like the solid, like that grimdark vibe, man. You've got it down to a T. That fade, by the way, the fade. Look at that glow, like that glow dark grim fade on these panels and on the energy being produced. That is sinister. It almost kind of reminds me of Brightburn. If you guys have seen that like superhero horror movie, or Superman horror movie variation, kind of reminds me of that like evil glow you kind of get from his ship, although even that was brighter. But in a way, this is way more like poignant, like that little, like, it's so menacing. And also like that metal, like I feel like if I touch it, my hands are just gonna get shredded to bits just by getting near it. It's so horrifically gruesome in all the right ways. That fuck, I wish I could get a zoom in. I think you have another photo of it real quick here. Yeah, there it is. That is, oh dude, that digitized effect. That is, oh, that gives such an awesome look to the Catan. That, because if you get like this same model from like normally, I'm certain this is kit bashed, but like the bear, like oh my god, the incredible work here. This is just amazing. This is HobbyLove, people, HobbyLove. But look at that, oh, like the fiery devil look. Oh god. A part of this also kind of reminds me of the movie The Virus, but that's for like some of the mechanical bits. That is gorgeous. That gives like a new vibe and new look to the katana, because normally when the katana are showcased on the model front, they're shown to be like pure energy beings, but this makes them look physical and gruesome and deformed, and that in its own way is even more grimdark and horrific than their situation actually is. So that is beautiful. There's not, like, pure pride is all you should feel in this. And I have I'm trying to think of like criticisms or advice, but honestly, you should be giving me advice, brother. Yeah, I got nothing. This is like, your style's consistent. The beauty of your work speaks for itself. Honestly, I'm in no position to criticize or try and find a hole in your work. It's just perfect. It's perfect within its style, of course. And like I said, I prefer vibrant colors, but you've nailed grimdark perfectly here. Feel pride. I'm sure you do, but I'll just say it for saying its sake. Feel pride. All right, next up we got from Malefic Gamer, or at Malefic_Gamer. I finished this bad guy recently, so I'm loving the color choice, by the way. I love purples, and like I said before, like I've said throughout this video, love saturation, love vibrancy, love color. I love it to pop, and here it pops. So this big guy, I don't recognize the model off the top of my head, and I'm thinking this is Kit Bash. I mean, it has to be, certainly with this component. It looks like a combination between a Tyranid unit and a Tzeentchian horror. And if that's what you're going for, man, you fucking nailed it. If it wasn't, you still nailed the beauty of this fucking thing. Like the color choice, that wet blend right there. Actually, that might not even be wet blended. That might be... The only thing that makes me doubt it was airbrushed is the fade looks slightly... No. That looks very smooth. If you that's talent right there. If you wet blended that, and I'm actually struggling to tell if that was airbrushed or wet blended, I'm gonna say you airbrushed it, but a part of me is wondering if you might have wet blended it. That fade is really convincing if it was airbrushed. It's so smooth. Damn, it looks good. Okay, God, I really love that. That is so cool. Like that demon portal it's got on its back. Like oh god, the vibrant like teal color as well with like that. It kind of reminds me almost of Dragon Ball with the Namekians. So you have that strong green, and then they have like those like portions of them that look kind of pink or like a light purple with all like. It kind of reminds me of that like cutoff, and that's compliment by the way. I like that contrast. That under bottom and that under texture to like the overhead, like the over thicker, I'm assuming thicker, like hide and stuff. The color blocking is beautiful. It almost looks like a crustacean, like a crustacean from the ocean in parts of it, and these tentacles, and it looks so good. Oh god, that looks so cool. That looks so cool. Yeah, like if that's wet blend, that's the thing. That's dry brushed right there. That's clearly dry brushed. And by the way, beautiful work on the dry brush there. Ah, god, the color choice is perfect. Like these dark, deep, deep dark blue with these like with the fleshy bits of like this, purple, and then you got the bright teal with the tentacles. Oh god, masterful work, my guy. Masterful. This is, oh god, it's stuff like this that makes you, I hope every hobbyist go, damn, I gotta get more practice in. Damn, I gotta up my game. This is the kind of stuff that inspires me to do more. Also, that the highlights you did here, that the way that just adds so much texture to that hoof. Like imagine this hoof without these highlights right here, these highlight lines to kind of give it that like those recesses that it looks like it's flat like as a physical model, so it adds those recesses and that kind of texturization to it. That looks so good. I really love the edge highlight work. I love the subtle brightness and fades you got all across it. This is, again, masterful work. Oh, the green ooze. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, for me, this is a perfect mix of, like, a grimdark vibe and that vibrant, saturated color that I absolutely love in all of my own models. I think that is so cool. Pure props to you, my guy. Yeah, this was from Malefic, at Malefic Gamer. Love the work. Can't wait to see what else you got in the future to throw at us, man. That is so cool. Okay, that's it for this particular HobbyLove. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, before you guys go, before we end everything, I do want to have a one-on-one with y'all. I want to sit down. I want to look you in the eye and have a little bit of conversation. So, I want to let you guys know a couple things about the channel going forward with stuff that's going on in the background. I guess I'll get straight to the point with some of it. In the near future, I intend to enlist with the United States military. In what capacity, I'm still deciding as things are right now with my family and my relationship with my girlfriend. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to join the National Guard, whether that be the Air Guard or the Army Guard, but in either case, I'm planning on joining one of them. I'm highly leaning towards Air Guard. I've heard the best things about them, pay-wise, as well as opportunity-wise. Still deciding on what I want to end up doing. Security forces, seem like I'm leaning towards that, but I might try some other things. Or might like look some other things. I'm gonna see what my options are. I just took my ASVAB, so I got a 74. Not the best score in the world, but not horrible. I think it's above average. I believe. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm looking towards for that. There's a chance it might not happen. I'm still talking to my girl about it, and she's apprehensive, of course. Anyone would be, hopefully. It's military service. They're coming with that comes a lot of tension. Obviously, if we go Air Guard, it's a lot less tension filled. But yeah, that's something I'm planning on doing. I'm losing weight in the background. I'm doing a lot. That's why videos have been extremely slow lately, is I'm doing a lot of physical training offline. And obviously, after you're done running 3 miles up and down the road, you don't exactly have a lot of energy to make a video or work on content. You kind of just want to sit down and relax for a little bit and let your lungs catch back up with you. So that's resulted in a lack of content. I'm going to try and correct that a little bit going forward. Now, of course, people are going to maybe, I'm just answering potential questions. You might not have these at all. I might completely misread the room, but just in case these are questions you guys might have. I know some people might be wondering, well, so why are you doing the military? Like, why do you want to do that? The big answer is financial. Right now, I'm not making a lot of money on my day job. I'm not making bad money by any stretch, but I'm not making enough to get a house anytime soon. And one big upside with military service is you can get a 0% down payment loan via the military. Of course, you have to do active duty for a certain amount of time to get that. So either I'd have to be in for like 6 years worth of a contract for National Guard, or hopefully there'll be opportunities to do full time active duty stuff while in the Guard, or I can convince my girlfriend to let me do at least a couple of years as a full time airman or a full time member of the Army, whatever the case may be. I'm hoping for that maybe, but I don't like my chances right now in the conversations I've had with my lovely lady. So with that being said, uh, I want to be able to make enough money to give her a home, and if we get that far enough in our relationship, have kids, that we can have our own house, because I'm living with my folks at the moment, and I would like to have enough money and to set aside for some college funds and start a family and have them all being raised in a home I own, or at the very least I'm paying off via a mortgage loan. So, I'm not making enough money to sustain that at the moment, or get to that point. I'm barely, I'm spending most of my paycheck before I have to get my next one. Saving money has been a problem. And yeah, part of that's budgeting on my part. I'm trying to better budget for things, but as it is, it's just the economy is not great at the moment. There's a lot of expenses, a lot of things I have to pay for on the home front as forms of my rent. Um, yeah, there's plenty of that going on, and obviously I don't want to e-beg. I don't want to come online and I want to every video being like, hey guys, make sure to donate, make sure to send me. I don't want to do that. I first of all, it just feels bad. I want to earn the money that I get, and like, obviously when people donate, I appreciate it extremely. So, when people do that on stream, or they do that via Streamlabs or whatever the case may be, and you guys feel that I've earned that from you, like, there's no better feeling in the world than knowing I entertained you guys enough that that was something you felt I had earned, and I greatly appreciate it. But I never want to put pressure on my audience, or any, like, YouTube should be a hobby, and it is a hobby. It's not a financial source for me, and I don't expect it to become so. So I have to get that money another way. And while I'm still young and have the body of, I'm 25, I'm at the top of the bell curve of when men start to go downhill. Some people would say 30. I think it's 25. Like, 25 is the very top of the bell curve. You're at the top of the bell curve till about 30, and then from there down, your body's gonna start. As an adult man, it's a slow descent, assuming you're not doing like smoking and doing a lot of stuff like that. But you are in the downward slope after the point I'm at, and I would like to use my body before it starts being less and less useful for what I can to benefit my family, benefit me, and benefit my situation. So yeah, that's like that's the crux of it is I want to be able to better support my family, better get take the opportunity of military service while my body can still keep up with it potentially. And while I'm losing weight, like, I never thought I'd do military service before now, because my weight was always, out of whack. And I'm actually losing it now. I'm down to 215 pounds. For context, just 3 months ago, I was 236 pounds. I've lost over 20 pounds, and I feel very proud about that. I hope I can only continue that process. I don't want to get taped when I get in the service. So that's kind of where the situation with that is at. And I wanted to let all of you wonderful people know that where things lie with that. And you are my audience, and you guys have been there to hopefully enjoy all my content up till now, every video and every piece of content. And yeah, I just to let you guys know, basic training for the Air Guard and Air Force is 7.5 weeks. Basic training for the Army is 10 weeks, and after that it's AIT. So there's a good chance you guys won't see me for a whole 6 month period after I enlist. So when that happens, obviously the channel's gonna die in the algorithm for sure. I'm gonna try and bring it back to life when I get out. I don't know, like if I do a full-time service, I don't know if there will be an opportunity to do that. Obviously, like my full-time job will be military, but we're gonna have our own barracks bunk, so I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe there's an opportunity there for me to continue doing YouTube while still in the service, but and if I'm in the Air Guard or National Guard, I definitely will have the opportunity because I'll be living at home. I just might have This might just be a random point while doing content for you guys and stuff that I might randomly have to go. Hey guys, I'm gonna be gone for like a couple months because the Air Force and the Army want to send me to my death. Sorry, that's dark humor. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to inform you guys of that, my audience, because you guys deserve to know. You guys have been watching and supporting me for a long time, so you deserve to know that kind of stuff, that's coming in the future. In the meantime, I'm not planning on enlisting until late January, early February, and that's assuming I get my weight down to an acceptable level. If my weight is not at 198 pounds at least, because I think that's the cutoff for the weight that they expect for my height. I'm 5'10". If I can't get my weight to that point, I will extend that because I don't want to even bother the Army or the Air Force with me until I could be an acceptable weight. And obviously, yes, the argument can be made. It's like, oh, well, they're gonna get you in shape. They're gonna put you through basic. They're gonna do the whole shebang. But I'd rather go in A, being able to do the PT test bare minimum, and B, being an acceptable weight and acceptable health level. So I would like to hit that before I even get to service, because the military deserves that from me, and I think I owe it to myself to give myself the best foot forward as I enter that portion of my life. But yeah, that's the long and short of it. So in the meantime, like I said, though, up until that point, I want to give you guys as much content as I can feasibly give you guys in the meantime. So what I've decided to start doing is I'm also going to be doing reactions on live streams. Um, for those of you who know my history with that, you know that with, reaction content, I used to have a channel dedicated to reaction content. It became a rabbit hole I fell into and got stuck in, and it didn't feel great at the time. But I think I will have a recipe, at least in my head, where I think I can do them, make them entertaining for you guys, make them more fun, so to speak, for me to do, or at the very least tolerable, because they aren't very creatively stimulating. But at the same time, it's a basic form of content that pretty much everybody does on the platform. I used to hate it a lot more years ago because I just felt like it was so bare bones, and it is bare bones content. It's nothing to be proud of, but it's certainly, I'm trying to think about it from the lens of, what can I give my audience on like a day-to-day basis that it may not be the most entertaining stuff. It's certainly, you guys deserve better than that for sure. But it's just with how things are, I just don't have enough time in the day to make the good content I'd love, like the really personable like content I'd like to. So instead, I'd like to give you guys something at least hopefully entertaining. Because again, I want to make it as entertaining as possible, for you guys to check out. Maybe the reactions. And the thing is, I don't want to react to things like obviously I'm not gonna like or have opinions on. I'm gonna encourage you guys, if you want me to do reactions, please by all means recommend things, but recommend things you feel confidently I will have something to say about, something I can give my opinion on, something that I can add substance to, even if it's minor substance, even if it's not like a true heart to it. At the very least, it's an honest reaction to something. If you feel like I'm not really going to care for something, or I'm not really going to have much to say on something, obviously don't recommend a reaction in turn. But yeah, that's just something I want to do that's going to hopefully be engaging on the live streams, and on the video front. It's going to be something regular I can give you guys on the channel on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, the algorithm-wise, that's going to help the channel survive and stay up, at least up until the point I have to leave for basic. And yeah, it's just it. And admittedly, another encouragement to do reaction content is also financial. I obviously like ad revenue is on the channel and stuff like that, and any kind of passive money I can generate right now. Because again, I'm trying to start a family, and I'm trying to save up for a house. And even with a 0% down loan, I could potentially get for the military. If I'm in the guard, I'm not gonna be able to get that for years, unless I do, like, I think it's 90 days of active service. So I'd have to volunteer for any job that came my way. But yeah, it's a whole thing. There's a lot I know I'm kind of onboarding in the very end of this video, and it's very much unrelated to the video, but I just I want to give you guys the full picture, and I don't want to skimp on details that I feel like are important. So yeah, I just there is that financial incentive. It's it's ad revenue, so it's passive, and hopefully it's gonna be earned in its own way. I'm gonna see like how the whole thing, how I feel about the whole thing, and as I push forward. But yeah, um, feel free to give your thoughts, obviously, to this whole end segment in the comments section. Feel free to reach out to me on Discord if you have something private you'd like to discuss in relation to all this. Um, it's a lot of information I know as well, so there's that. But yeah, that's just what's going on in the background. Physical training, preparation for service to my nation's military, and the reason behind it, it's financial. I do want to give my family and myself a very solid future and foundation on which to set things forward. Um, I want to give myself and my future spouse, hopefully my girlfriend's gonna be my future spouse, the best potential future I could possibly give. And if my body and my if my body is the way to pay that price right now, and again I'm 25, it's downhill after now, then I'm willing to pay that, and that way I earn my keep and earn what I have to for my family. I'm hoping this isn't like I'm hoping this doesn't sound melodramatic, but that's the seriousness of it. But anyway, that's the long and short of it. I probably over explained some bits, but yeah, I love you guys. I appreciate all the support from Tang to Nathan to Karn to God, I feel bad if I don't name everybody, but Lady Runesong, Tehe, Teodora. God, lass, you've been so much help with the thumbnail art. The thumbnail art, it's Urus, Ludus. I just want to name off everybody, but like Ball, Caboose. I've been very blessed with so many people and friends I've made, and Dragonis, and your whole family, man. I've had the pleasure to sit back and watch you get married and have a baby, and ah, I just sorry, I'm being a bitch right now. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and Pierce, I owe you so much for you've given Warglaive Gothic like a visual life that I could never have given it. Like, oh God, I do want to sit here and just kind of name everybody off and name drop them and thank them for all they've done for me, but I'll be here forever. Kaiju also, Kaiju. Man, I didn't forget about you. Forlorn Lancer, I know you go by a different name now, man, but in the off chance you see this, I hope you're doing good. You know, just yeah. If I didn't name you, don't know. Just know that it's not because I value any less than the people I just mentioned. It's just this is all ad libbed at the end of a video, so it's yeah. Thank you guys, and well, I'll keep seeing you. Yeah. All right. Bitch mode off. See you guys for the next HobbyLove, and see you guys for all future content coming forward. And well, at the very least, hopefully it's entertaining. If it's not, well, make plans from there. See ya.